Hey everybody, how about some nighttime yellowtail action at Leo's Rocks? Coming up and over, nice big fish. Nice. Love. Way to go, buddy. Wow. Nice big yellow. Woo! It's going.
Good morning.
Hey, no lunch. You know what to do?
What do you got two gaps there for?
Double.
Oh man, that's awesome. Nice yellow, Scott. Darn right. Get over there, Scott, with the fish. Good job. Hey, good Saturday morning, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Surfside, California. It is just starting to get light here at daybreak, and it's a beautiful morning. I'm down here in swim trunks and a t-shirt, so not that cold. Tomorrow's day at the docks. That's going to be a lot of fun. We'll have more on that. There's a grunion run that starts tonight. And all that action, that yellowtail action that you saw up front this morning, well, that was all on the Independence, a video that dropped last night and already has 4,000 views on all our social media. It's great. You're going to love that. Of course, we're going to talk bluefin, tuna. We'll talk about the rockfish that are just everywhere this year. Great fishing. La Niña comes to an end and so much more. I'll get set up and be right back with the morning briefing. Stay tuned. Before we get started on today's morning briefing, don't forget, if you're headed to Ensenada, you're going to want to give Zeke Casas a call. Only 15 minutes from downtown, but just check out that spectacular view while in Ensenada, Baja California Norte. And if that garage door is giving you a problem, then you're going to want to call your garage door man. That's Joe Welker. Tax problems? Nobody better than our friend Tim Marquez. Tim's been doing taxes for 35 years. Give the tax man a call today. And for your heating and or air conditioning needs, you're going to want to talk to our dear friend John Lopez at Efficient Heating and Air Conditioning. Hey, it really is great to have you with us here this lovely Saturday morning, and it is beautiful. We don't have all that fog that we've been having. In fact, on the evening update, it was still foggy last night, but that seems to be a thing of the past. Man, I'll tell you, you know what time it is. It is time for the morning briefing. Good morning, my friends. Is that good? And is it great to be taking a little bit of a walk here on the beach with you all tonight? There'll be a grunion run in Southern California and Northern Baja. Great thing to show the kids. It's no take, so you're not allowed to lay your grimy hands on those poor little grunion tonight, but you certainly can watch and you can fish. And man, some of the best fishing I've ever seen here in Southern California, and the surf takes place during grunion runs. It can be spectacular on a wide variety of fish. Don't forget to hit that like button. We deeply appreciate it when you do that. Also, share these videos everywhere. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Subscribe to the Freeman Adventures YouTube channel and tick that little bell. You'll be notified when there is new content. Man, we got a lot to talk about. Let's first of all just mention the day at the docks is tomorrow, and we're going to be shooting a Freeman Adventures family photo with all of you right there at the Bill Pool statue right next to Fisherman's Landing, 11 a.m. It'll be good to meet you if I haven't met you before, and also we'll shoot individual photos, whatever it is you want. You want information on our charters, anything we can do will be my great pleasure. 11 a.m., the Bill Pool statue right next to Fisherman's Landing. And I also got to tell you, make sure you go by and see my friend Jolene Thompson and her dear friend, and now mine, Kyoko, because they're going to be at the Kids Mackerel Pen helping kids to fish. They're members of the San Diego Rod and Reel Club, a great club doing a lot of great stuff in the community just like this. Jolene and Kyoko will be there helping kids fish. Hey, guys, I'll see you there with my grandson Bowden, my son Philip. We'll see you there. We want to see Bowden catch his first saltwater fish. That should be a thrill. All right, my friends, let's get into it with you. We'll start in Mexico Lindo. Down there in Cabo San Lucas, a little bit more striped marlin starting to show up. We're also seeing some yellowfin tuna offshore. Inshore, we're seeing a lot of Sierras, some more rooster fish. Still yellowtail up there in La Paz. That bite's been really steady for Baja Pirates and Tail Hunter International. We see great yellowtail action continuing in Loreto for our friends from Sea Dog Sportfishing. Andrew has been limiting out before 12 noon, going into the shallows and catching cabrilla. We see great yellowtail fishing also in Mulahey and Santa Rosalia, and some pretty good yellowtail action, albeit up and down. Some days you get them, some days you don't. 140 miles below the border in the San Quintin area. They have plenty of rockfish there. Speaking of rockfish, just 20 miles above San Quintin is Colonet, Punta Colonet. It's another little town in Baja. There's pongueros out of there that will take you out, but the Pacific Voyager and our friend Max Nui, he runs out of San Diego. He made that long run down there all night last night. He's arriving right now, and he's gonna, I'm just foretelling the future now. He's gonna put the wood to the lingcod because he's been doing it on a regular basis. All Max needs is some decent weather, and he's got that. He should be on those lings shortly, and I have a sneaking suspicion we might be doing a special update a little bit later today. In Ensenada, we continue to see those spurts of yellowtail. Yellows show up from time to time down there. Sometimes they're kind of small, sometimes they're nice big fat ones. They're under the birds as the yellows will force bait to the surface. The birds will then get on that and show you the way to those yellowtail. Surface iron, yo-yo iron, that's been the best way to get it done. But there's been some bait fish also mixed up in there with that. So pretty good fishing there. However, you can't count on the yellows. It's mostly really great rock fishing, lings and bocaccio, so many other species, and more bass starting to show up down there also. We mentioned also that La Niña is over. The cold water regimen that they were forecasting to last into the fall, now they're saying it's going to be neutral. So it won't be an El Nino, really warm water, and it won't be a La Niña, kind of cold water, not kind of, colder water for sure. It's going to be neutral. And as we look offshore, Jolene Thompson and I were talking really early this morning. She was pointing out by the San Clemente Island Basin buoy, there's 62-degree albacore looking water out there this morning. So that is good news. We're going to start to warm up. We got a south swell that's going to push more of that Baja warm water up into Southern California, and hopefully those yellows will move in with it. The Coronado Islands has been looked at by our friends down in Baja. Carlos Cortez runs out of Popola, which is 15 minutes south of Rosarito Beach, and he has yet to come up with any yellows here recently. Water is still very cool there, up to about 57 degrees this morning. Out of C4 Sport Fishing in San Diego, the San Diego, we'll be looking at it again. Yesterday, all rockfish. Previous day, all rockfish. That's what we've been looking at the islands, but we've been seeing a lot of yellowtail. So I guess we could presume that maybe it's just a little too cool. And once that water warms up, it might be game on the Forkies. We've seen them taking on the surface iron, yo-yo iron, dropper loop with a bait on the bottom, fly line bait. The little bit of yellows that have been taken, I think the best score was a yellowtail. Those fish, once again, have been biting in a variety of different ways. So make sure you're tackled up and prepared for all of that. Beautiful morning here this morning. Flat calm seas, pretty much. Pretty good swell offshore there, it looks like, but it shouldn't be any problem at all for the rockfish. The Amigo is fishing white sea bass as we speak. So are several other boats. We're going to keep our eyes on that for you very, very closely. The Ghost, a six-pack yacht out of 22nd Street landing in San Pedro, California, ended up with limits of white sea bass. 6 guys, 6 white sea bass, and we continue to see some pretty darn good halibut scores up and down the coast. There has been and remains a lot of squid around, and that is such a magnet, such a great magnet for game fish on the Southern California coast. So we're hoping we're going to see more and more of that as we go along. Once again, that white sea bass bite was good last Sunday. We had limits of white sea bass 17 on the Amigo. That was followed up by some private boater catches. The Aloha Spirit up there had limits of white sea bass one day. We've seen some really good WSB fishing, but it's backed off here recently. Several guys struck out on it. The Endeavor's had some fish out of Ventura Sportfishing, so we'll continue to watch this for you today. Very, very close. There's going to be a lot of boat pressure on that, so we'll see if it can hold up to it here in the early season. Don't forget, the El Patron is going to be running shortly out of Long Beach Sportfishing. She's a beautiful rig, putting in brand new engines. You can visit her right now at www.longbeachsportfishing.org. And don't forget, tomorrow, kids fish free on the Island Spirit out of Ventura Sportfishing. Great rig. We had such a great time on there the other day on a Friedman Adventures family trip. It was a lot of fun, and you can join them kids fish free. Give the office a call, 805-676-3474. Taking a look around, we see really great rock fishing. Rather than go through every single redundant score, it's been good from San Diego all the way up, from half-day fishing to three-quarter day to overnight trips. Most everybody's been doing good on a mix of rockfish. Some of the half-day guys will add in the sculpin with it after they limit out on rockfish. It's been really, really, really good. So excellent fishing. And we're talking from the border all the way up to Morro Bay. As you move further north, the size of the fish seems to increase. Channel Islands, some really nice big quality fish. And then up there in Morro Bay and Avila Beach, wow, some excellent fishing going on. We mentioned the halibut. We've seen a little bit down there in San Diego, although that bite seems to have backed up a little bit everywhere. We're starting to see more and more of it. In the northern area, again, has been good. A little bit in San Diego, Oceanside, San Clemente. On the Native Sun, they've been picking off a few halibut from time to time. They were out, by the way, fishing twilight bass last night. Picked off a few nice bass last night, sculpin. So along the coast, we see that. Up there on the Coral Sea out of Santa Barbara, really good halibut bite the other day. But yesterday, I think they ended up with one halibut and 12 lingcod. They've been really on it, though. The Gray Light had 3 halibut, 6-pack yacht out of Cisco Sport Fishing in Oxnard, California. The Mirage with 24 lingcod yesterday, to give you a few of the highlights on the rockfish that have been biting in Southern California. I like you to fish a 16-ounce torpedo or heavier in case you get out in the deeper water. If you know you're going to be fishing shallow water, then you can, go with an 8-ounce, 10-ounce, something like that. But always better to err on a little bit heavier in case there's wind and current and you're not tangled up half the day. That will really save you a lot of trouble. All right, let's talk about what's going on here in the Southern California surf. This is pretty good. I don't like all the salad in the water here, but that's something that sometimes you have to deal with. We'll see how it goes. I think Anthony from Friedman Adventures is going to be fishing here later this morning, so we'll get an update from him. The high tide guys have been in Lake Havasu with my friend Doug Tilk. Well, they're not exactly together, but they've been in Havasu. And Doug Tilk yesterday teased that you had to have the special bait to catch those smallmouth bass. He's been focused in on the smallmouths there at Lake Havasu. And when I threatened waterboarding him to find out what it was, he came right through with the information that we've been waiting for. Yesterday, Doug Tilk with a 3-pound, 13-ounce smallmouth. Whoa, some really nice big smallies. A 3.8 ounce. He said the Zoom flukes are what are working best on the smallmouth. He's having a great time. Doug, looking forward to seeing you really soon. Back to the surf here, a little bit of Corbina, more barb perch than anything, and some halibut. And with this grunion run, I'm telling you, you could get bit tonight on this beach or any beach where these grunion are going to be running. Of course, when the grunion come up on the beach to lay their eggs, you're going to see all kinds of predators right behind them. Halibut, leopard sharks, yellowfin croaker, spotfin croaker, you name it. They're going to be in here feeding on it, and you can take advantage of it. Remember, though, you are not allowed to touch grunion. You cannot pick one up and fish with it tonight. If you had some frozen bait from before, that even gets a little dicey. Legally, yeah, you can do it. But if a fish and wildlife guy walks up and says, hey, did you, it's a possession thing. So you're not supposed to have any in your possession. I'm not sure about the legality of that. I need to check on that for you very closely. Keep your hands off those little devils here tonight. Don't forget about Big Fish Bait and Tackle down there in the beautiful city of Seal Beach, California. They await you with all the bait and tackle you'll need for a successful weekend here in the Southern California surf. They're fantastic. They're giving away a free custom rod every single month. All you have to do is buy their ruler, and you're in the contest for the entire rest of the year. I don't know how you can beat that. Fantastic. I'll tell you that. Don't forget Bill Pool statue, 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, Sunday morning. They're in San Diego, a day at the docks. Looking forward to seeing all your smiling faces in San Diego. Scott Buchert is going to be at the Friends of Rollo booth. My co-host, Paulina. Make sure you go by and tell her my middle name, Albert, is a great middle name, no matter what she thinks. She's going to be at the Mag Bay lure booth, Mag Bay jig booth, whatever it is, Mag Bay something booth. She'll be there with her mom, Berenice. So make sure you drop by and stick up for my middle name, Albert, because we're not going to put up with her nonsense on that.
Albert?
Oliver?
What's so funny about that?
Philip Albert Friedman.
Is it Oliver?
Albert.
Oh, Albert.
What's so funny?
Here you go, Albert. Felipe Alberto.
All right, my friends, what can I tell you? It's a beautiful day. We've had a signal of white sea bass. Boys are fishing it again here this morning. We're watching that very closely. Oh, before I forget, my bluefin tuna news, and that is the Polaris Supreme is back in this morning and did not score any bluefin tuna. If they did, they sure kept it quiet. Let's put it that way. Very quiet from the Polaris Supreme. I assume they did great on the bottom fish, had great lingcod and rock fishing, but we're trying to run that bluefin tuna down, and they weren't able to do it. They're off on a 3-day trip this morning, so they're taking off at 10 a.m. So Aliar is a hard worker. If anybody's going to find him, it'll be the Polaris Supreme. And maybe Max on his lingcod trip, maybe he'll find something in his travels down the Baja coast here this weekend. Also, we'll be watching that all very, very closely for you all. Make sure you visit Jolene and Kyoko. They'll be at the Kids Mackerel Pen, put on by the San Diego Rod and Reel Club. Say hi to Scott Buchert, Paulina. We'll see you at 11 a.m. there at the Bill Pool statue. Chuck Zimmer from Z Custom Rods is going to be there. You can ask him all about the great surf fishing tournament coming up with the Redondo Beach Rod and Gun Club. They're doing a fantastic job with that. I'm going to be involved in that. That should be fun. All right, my friends, a lot going on, man. It is a beautiful morning, gorgeous here. I hope you get to take a walk on the beach, go whale watching, go fishing, go to Lake Havasu and see Doug Tilt, whatever it is you decide to do. Poke your nose outside, get a little vitamin D. Enjoy what we are so blessed to have here in Southern California and around the world for that matter. Nothing like going out and catching some rays and going for a walk. There's nothing better for your soul or for your physical well-being. All right, my friends, have a great one, and I hope to see you really, really soon.